so I am here with Rory Butcher, the legendary Rory Butcher. How's your conference going, my friend?
It's been going well so far. Thanks. Had a couple of really good panels. I've done my paper already, so all the pressure's off now.
That's good. What were you speaking on?
I was speaking on my PhD topic, the Fencible regiments within the British Army, this sort of home defence network that gets set up during the 1790s.
Okay. And how far into the PhD are you, or is that a question I shouldn't be asking?
Well, yeah. So asking a PhD student how far they're in. No, I'm coming up to the end of my third year now. I'm aiming for submission next academic year. We'll see how well that goes. Theses are a fickle beast, I think you'll agree.
They absolutely are. No, they absolutely are. Anything here that is inspired you or changed something? Have you got to run home and like tweak a paragraph or something?
I think you almost want that in a way, because it's always great to hear from other people what they're working on and sort of what they can provide to your research. I've had a couple of really great thoughts listening to a couple of papers already, just in terms of how I can reframe how I'm looking at scenarios, at questions. Most recently, great panel about sort of narratives of warfare, how soldiers are describing what they're seeing. And the Fencible regiments that I look at, many of them didn't serve in combat. A few of them did, and it's always interesting seeing how they describe things, how similar they are in some ways to how the regular soldiers describe them as well.
So we just the NRWGC, the charity that is running this conference, just voted to change our admissions rules to include all Fencibles, all auxiliaries. How do you feel about that?
That's really good to hear, actually. I think as much as many of them, didn't serve on the front lines when they were in the Fencible regiments, auxiliaries play a really vital role within the military apparatus of every nation. And particularly for those who then later served, they considered that part of their service as important as their regular service.
Absolutely.
There's still a continuity there. They're still serving their king and country, or maybe not king so much in some areas. So auxiliaries play an absolutely vital role within the military, and I'm really glad to hear that that's something that's going to be included and worked on.
No, absolutely. It seemed the right way to go about it. Speaking of actually that continuity, a question that just popped into my head: have you encountered anything in your own research or in discussions about soldiers sort of citing their Fencible or their militia service when it comes to sort of seniority debates and things like that?
Oh, absolutely. There's several occasions of officers, particularly there's an exercise that's done in 1809, 1810, where all the regular officers provide a CV. And the Fencible service crops up really quite a lot. As even General Ponsonby, famously at Waterloo, was killed. He started off in a Fencible regiment, because getting that foot in the door, unlike the militia until 1795, which couldn't transfer into the regulars, the Fencibles could. And so that gave men not quite a back door, but certainly an alternate route into a commission that very much carried social prestige, but also real capital.
Absolutely, and we just heard in a panel about an officer who couldn't afford the commission in the regular forces, so started out in the auxiliaries and then moved to the regulars.
Oh, absolutely. It's not quite, I wouldn't say backdoor, but it's certainly an alternative route that still enabled men to work on their military life, to have that experience, and then when going to the regulars, being able to build on that in a way that they seemingly perceive as still valuable, just in a different way.
Absolutely. So one final question. When are you reformatting your CV to match those of the 1808?
Oh, it's a wonderful document, series of documents available in the National Archives. It's just a list. Some of them have got incredible details about, I joined this regiment and I served and I saw this and I was under this cap. And some, like Ponsonby, leave them blank and just fill in their regimental date.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much, Rory. Have a great rest of the conference.
Thank you so much.
See you soon.
Hello again, folks. Please remember, we're still fighting back from that Spotify nightmare. So please do 2 really simple and quick things to help us rise from the ashes. First, whack that subscribe button, especially if you're listening to this on Spotify, because you're likely to have been disconnected. But whatever platform you listen to your podcasts on, please just do it anyway to make sure you can stay connected to us. Second, like and leave a comment. It helps bump us up the algorithm to reconnect with our lost audience. If you're a fan of the show, you can leave a 5-star review. Go on, you know you want to. And did you know that you can now join a mailing list to get regular updates on all the news about newly released episodes, meetups for patrons, new lines of merch that have dropped, and all the hot gossip about what's coming soon? Because let's be honest, this show is all about the hot gossip. To sign up, go to www.thenapoleonicwars.net. Much love to all my Patreon supporters who are enjoying a rejuvenated and revitalized offering of perks on Patreon. Head to patreon.com/the Napoleonic Wars pod to find out how you can join a buzzing community of like-minded Napoleonic nerds who are enjoying things like courses, socials, a book club, green room access to recordings, early releases, exclusive episodes, and much more. Shout outs to our patrons who, at the time of recording this in mid-August 2024, are in the mentioned and dispatches tier: Rob Griffith, Brendan Teeling, Beatrice DeGraff, Lynn Dawson, Jamie Kingston, Lucy Tatner, Jim Deary, Josh Keeney, Colin Fieldhouse, Stephen Colson, Jim Getz, Stephen Gillen, Hugh Brennan, Alistair Campbell-Grieve, Andy Meakin, Mark Anscombe, Rob Coughlin, Bruins Girl, Noah Fink, Mark Trowbridge, Miles Reedy, Nick Overland, Graham Goodwin, Chris Pramas, Anthony Gumbau, Anonymous American, Martin Pisani, James Fluick, Natasha Hobday, Rod Schwager, Chris Kimball, Gary Dennis, David Graylick, Ted Andrews, Richard Anderson, Arthur Forgy, Sam Moore, Wyatt Pollock, Carol Dixon Smith, Roland Shark, Giovanni, Jean-Baptiste Merlon, and Darla Vincent. And the Admirals: John Haynes, Ryan Diamond, JC Kaiser, Bob Burnham, Mike Guest, Liam Telfer, Todd and Laird Campbell, Rachel Stark, Mark Duckers, David Maxwell, David Priest, Graham Callister, Sean Sullivan, Stephen Ashworth, Dan Hazelwood, Kate Walcombe, Clemens Beman, Charles McKay, Reto the Sci-Fi Fan, Tim Day, Mark Chestnut, Jason Morn, and the enigmatically named Zed. And I promise that's not just me boosting the numbers. We'll be back very soon, but until then, this has been the Napoleonic Wars pod. On behalf of myself, Liam, Luke, and Josh, take care of yourselves, folks. Stay well. And as always, thank you for listening.